I'm so ready.
We are on a time crunch tonight. I got
Oh, you're a
things to
little.
watch because if I don't watch it at the same time as everyone else, then everybody gives away what happens.
We record once a week, and you texted me and you said I have to be done by 9 o'clock to watch This Is Us, and I was
Yeah.
like, "Have you ever heard of DVR?"
No DVR because I need to watch it in real time so that I know exactly what happens.
I don't watch anything in real time anymore.
It's the only thing I watch in real time.
I used to watch America's Got Talent in real time because my neighbor and I would watch it together. But
And you would cry.
you know, yeah. Do you know what I discovered yesterday?
What?
Normally, I have two different sets of shows, right? Because shows come out at different times. I don't know what it is, like spring or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
and fall, right? Fall and spring. So normally, I always have a set of shows I watch in the fall. I have a set of those shows I watch in the spring.
Uh-huh.
But I don't have. There's no shows that I'm watching right now because everything that I watched didn't get renewed.
Oh, wow. So you have really shitty taste in shows then.
Or yeah, I
Yeah.
guess so.
If everything you liked to watch got canceled, then I think that's a you problem and you have really bad taste.
Or it's a. I don't know. You can't blame this all on me. I didn't make
It's
the show. I just watched them.
so much easier to blame it on you. Also, I forgot, but I'm Ricki.
Oh, I'm Jake.
You're listening to 20 somethings doing nothing.
Love it.
Before we get way too into this podcast, we have a special guest coming on.
I thought you were saying before we get wasted, but yeah, that too.
Are we getting wasted? Am I behind?
No,
Okay.
I don't even have water. You normally have water.
I don't have, yeah, that's not a thing. It's fine. Okay, so
Sorry.
back to what we were going
Continue
to talk
to
about.
our special guest.
So we have a special guest coming on. But before that, we have a few things that we need to get to. Like, for one, I was at a wedding over the weekend. Indoor wedding. First time at an indoor wedding during this pandemic.
What a horrible time for an indoor wedding.
Yeah, definitely not the best time. Although I've
Yeah.
realized when I was there, the reason why they did it this way was because they just wanted the wedding to literally be done with. It seems like everyone has this grand idea of getting married and having this insane wedding. And then when it comes time to plan it and to execute the actual wedding, almost everyone I know is like, I need this to be fucking done. Like, I'm so over all of the planning, all of the planning on top of the planning, all of the questions and the bullshit. They're like, I just need it to be done. And that's how this couple felt. So they were like, we just want the wedding done.
That's why I'm going to elope.
Good idea. I always wanted to do that. I have to convince AJ to agree to it.
I think he'll be fine with it.
Yeah, we'll see. But I went to an indoor wedding. It was definitely nerve-wracking. It definitely did not feel super safe by any means.
Yeah.
When I first got there, I had a whole situation that I had to take care of. I was in the bathroom with my friend because we had just gotten there and we were out drinking beforehand because they had the ceremony, then they had hours in between, and then they had the reception. So we went to a bar to go get drunk and hang out and have something to fill our time with. So by the time we got to the reception, we were already drunk. So we ran to the bathroom to go pee, and while we were in the bathroom washing our hands, this woman comes in, and all we hear is this woman like making these noises, like type noises. And we were like, is everything okay? And she's in the sink and she's like splashing her face with water and making these noises. Turns out that she was having an allergic reaction because she's allergic to tree nuts. And she had eaten something that had to either be prepared like next to tree nuts or with tree nuts, one or the other. But she was literally she was going into anaphylactic shock because she
Oh
ate
my
something that she was
gosh.
allergic to. So her whole like inside of her neck and like her mouth was swelling up. And she just like ran to the bathroom so that she could like, because she felt hot. So she was trying to like put cold water on her face and stuff and like calm herself down. So I'm talking to her and I'm like, are you okay? And she's like, must have ate something. allergic to tree nuts. And I was like, oh no. So I'm instantly sober at this point. I was drunk when I got there, instantly
Oh,
sober, because this woman is like, I'm like, she's going to die in front of me. She literally sounded like the noises coming from her throat and her mouth. I was like, I've never heard a human make those kind of noises. I genuinely thought she was going to die in the bathroom. So I'm standing with her and I'm like talking to her, and we ask her if like she has an EpiPen. So she says her husband has the EpiPen. So Lexi, my friend, goes out to go get her EpiPen. I stay with her and I'm just like trying to talk to her and like calm her down.
oh
She
my
can't
God.
breathe. Like there's like all this shit going on. She like ended up actually not using the EpiPen, and she said that she actually felt better after a little while. But like she made these noises that I literally have never heard in my life, and I thought this woman was going to die in front of me. Afterwards, she was so freaking sweet. She thanked us like up and down, left and right. The entire night, every time she saw us, she'd be like, oh, my guardian angel, my guardian angel. And then she told me how my voice like kept her calm through the whole thing. She was so sweet, but I felt so bad. I literally thought that she was like gonna die in the bathroom, which would be the shittiest place to die. No pun intended. But I was like, what is happening to this lady? Her like face was so bright red. She like did not look well. I'm not allergic to anything, so I don't know what it's like to have that kind of reaction. I just can tell that like it was not good and something had to
Yo,
be done.
one, I thought you were about to tell me you stabbed this woman with an EpiPen, and I was going to be like, that's the craziest drunk story I've ever heard.
It came very close, dude. It came very close.
Dude, I feel like you always have the strangest experiences in women's bathrooms. Like, why? Why does this happen to you?
The friendships that you make in the woman's bathroom are honestly some of like the most precious and strongest relationships that you could ever create.
That just does not happen in men's bathrooms.
And I know every woman out there that's listening to this can agree with me on this. And then, like I said, after that, she was just like, you're my guardian angel. I found out, which is so funny. And it's weird how like life works sometimes. And I may be totally reading into this, but I got hot at one point. So I put my hair up. And as anyone that actually knows me, I have very big curly hair, and I wore it big and curly at the wedding. So when I put my hair up, though, she saw my butterfly tattoo that I have on my shoulder. And she was like, oh my God, you have a butterfly? And then she goes, I have a butterfly on my back. So I was like, that's kind of weird. Like
That's
maybe
weird.
there's like some weird connection, like freaky universe thing going on. It was like really
Did you get
strange.
her phone number?
I didn't, but she was just the kindest, sweetest woman ever. And I'm just happy that I was in the bathroom when that had happened, because I don't know what she would have done if she was alone.
That's terrifying.
Like there was a total possibility that if she went into the bathroom, she was going to be entirely alone until somebody walked in. And if she did need her EpiPen, wouldn't have had it.
Well, that's so in college, I did like this express CPR class, which like, is that something you would want to make a shorter class
Express?
ever? Right.
What?
It was like, I forget what it was called, like the Red Watch training or something. I don't know. But I'm always afraid that I'm going to be in a situation where somebody needs CPR
CPR.
or somebody needs something and I don't know what to do. And then you just stand there and you can't do anything. I'm like, why do they not make that mandatory in high school? Everybody should have to do a CPR class.
You didn't
Like,
have to do that in high school? I did.
no.
Oh, we didn't pass junior. I think it was sophomore, junior year. We wouldn't pass unless we passed our CPR test.
Did you go to public school?
Yep.
Me too.
For high school.
Fucking public school. My public school is supposed to be a good one too.
Mine's
Guess
supposed to be
what?
trash.
Well, apparently it's not. Mine was pretty trash. Not
Yeah, so
because
that's
of the
my
CPR
story
class.
about
That's
how
nuts.
I had to calm this woman down and possibly save her and possibly stab her with an EpiPen. I'm happy I didn't have to do it.
I'm really happy
But
you didn't have to stab her because you were drunk and that would have sucked.
but I'm not kidding. Like instantly, once I heard her and like could tell that something wasn't right, it was like I was just scared sober.
But why does that happen? Because that's a really interesting point because you're not actually sober, right?
Yeah.
Like your body can't just make you sober, but there's something in your brain, and maybe it's for people that are just good in emergency situations, because like I have had a few of those moments where you just instantly sober up. Like, is that just a thing for people that are good in these types of situations, or does that happen to everyone?
I'm not sure.
it's just so crazy how your brain can do that because you're not sober, but you feel like you're sober.
Oh, totally. I was like, whatever needs to happen right now, I can do in good conscience and not feel like
Right.
I'm fucking something up, because I was like, okay, what's happening? And then I was like, who has the EpiPen? Are you okay? Can I get you anything? I think you just need to breathe. Like, it was just like an
Oh my
instant, like,
God.
now everything's fine. I'm not drunk at all anymore. I like went from like swaying with my friend into the bathroom to just being like, okay, what can I do? How do I help this situation?
That is nuts.
I
Do
was
you
like
know how to
ready to
use an
go.
EpiPen?
Well, yeah, you just have to like take the cap off and you just stab the person with it.
Yeah.
And it punctures through your skin and everything and through your pants and things like that. So that I know. But
Well, that's good.
I'm glad I didn't have to use it. Yeah, it was a very scary
That
moment, but it
definitely would
was,
have killed the night.
oh yeah, for sure. Or it would have just been fine, because sometimes people just have those allergic reactions and then once they get stabbed with the EpiPen, they're like, okay. They should go to the
I thought
hospital,
you,
but
right. Don't you have to go to the hospital after you stab yourself?
you're supposed to, but that doesn't mean that everybody does.
You're one of those people that if you had an EpiPen and you had to stab yourself, you'd be like, nah, I'm fine.
Oh, 100.
And
If
then
I was
just
at a
like pass
wedding,
out.
I would stab myself with that shit and I'd be like, all right, where's my gin and tonic? My hand's
Oh God.
empty. Need a drink.
Luckily, you don't have a severe severe allergy.
Yes, I'm very happy that I don't, and I feel bad for everyone that does. Scary moment. Everything's fine now, though.
So
Thank God.
there was one time that I was on a cruise with my family and my uncle started choking on something. And it was one of those chokings where you're not coughing, which if you don't know this, the person is choking and they're coughing, that means they can breathe.
Yes.
If they're
I
not
mean,
coughing,
logic,
wow, look at
but
that. We could have just like saved a life right there. We're
maybe
like such good humans.
maybe we did, and our future selves just don't even know yet.
Wow, that's so great. You should listen to us all the time. But so he started choking and everyone was just like nobody knew what to do. And I'm like, now I'm so prepared for these like common, I guess, situations
Mm.
because I don't want to be in a situation like that where something's happening and nobody knows what to do.
Yeah, because it's scary. Well, it's also scary because it happens so fast. Like everything moves
Right.
so quickly in situations like that. And it's just like, holy shit, how did this all like happen so quickly? In reality, I wasn't gone for very long. Like AJ hardly knew that I was gone for that long. Like he thought nothing of it. But like
Right. And you come back and you're like, holy shit.
I literally was like, Lexi and I just saved a woman. We may have almost like been the reason why she survived. Who knows? And he was like, what are you
Maybe
talking
almost.
about? He's like, didn't you just go pee? And I was like, pee and saved a life. Both.
Damn.
All within the last 15 minutes.
Damn.
Because it just
And
goes
then
so
you kept
quickly.
drinking?
Oh, hell yeah. We literally, Lexi and I got out of the bathroom and we were like, whoa, that was wild. And then we went right to the bar and we were like, we need more drinks, please.
But how was the wedding overall?
Overall, it was a great wedding. It was very pretty. It was very nice. It was a little scary to be inside with a bunch of people that I don't know, and I don't know what they do on a daily basis, and I don't know anything about them. So that kind of freaks me out a little bit. But we really didn't leave our table all that often. Like we would get up to dance when there weren't many people on the dance floor at all. Other than that, we would then go back to our table and just sit at our table. So we tried to do what we could do.
Right. I mean, how much can you do at that point?
Exactly. Like we tried to be smart about it and not on the dance floor while it was like crowded with people and there was a lot of people that were like dancing at one time. We would try to stay away from that. But I mean, like there really, like you said, there's not like that much that we can do.
Right. It is what it is at that point.
Yeah, fingers crossed that everybody's okay. Okay, so Jake, do you want to explain who Brittany is, who just joined us?
Yeah, we're just going right into it.
Yeah, why not?
So Brittany, actually, why don't I just let you introduce yourself?
Okay. Um, so thank you guys so much for having me, by the way. My name's Brittany, obviously. So I am a senior at Ohio State. I'm studying speech pathology, so fingers crossed the plan is to go to grad school next.
Awesome.
And so basically I'm the campus ambassador for Gift of Life, which is a bone marrow and stem cell transplant registry.
So we got an email a while ago that was like, hey, we have a bunch of 20 somethings that are doing something. And I'm like, sorry, we don't want to talk to them. We do nothing. And they're like, would you want to talk to somebody? And we're like, yes, we would love to meet someone who's actually doing something, because we are not. But anyway, so what are you registering for? Are you registering to become a donor, or you're registering to become a potential donor, right?
Yeah, so you'd be registering to become a potential donor. The chances of you actually being a match with someone are really low, but since for bone marrow and stem cells, it's so specific to your heritage and your genes and your DNA. So one person could save someone's life. Like our CEO and founder, it was one person who was, after 4 years of searching, one person, one match, like saved his life.
Right.
So
Right.
really,
So why are you doing this? What did you wake up one day and you're like, I want to help out Gift of Life?
yeah, so I went to Israel on birthright, which was really cool. And I remember it was like a really tiring day, and I remember all I wanted to do was go to bed, and it was hot and I was sweaty, and I was like, I do not want to sit through one more like meeting, one more lecture. But then this woman came in and she started telling Jay's story. And it's about this guy, Jay Feinberg. He was 23 years old, and so he was like he was 20 something years old. He was just doing everything that we like to do, like just like trying to go out with his friends. He had just graduated from college, like getting his life together. And he started to feel sick one day, and he went to the doctor thinking maybe he had the flu or something. And then the doctor sat him down and was like, Jay, this is not the flu. You have leukemia. And I just remember sitting there, like I could only imagine as like a 21-year-old getting that news so young, and like what he was thinking, like what was going through his mind. And then she went on to say how because of his Jewish heritage, his chances of finding a match were less than 2%. So his family, though, wasn't taking that for an answer, and they searched for 4 years, his family and friends, to find a match for him, and nothing for 4 years. And the doctor really had to essentially be like, put your bucket list together, like do the things that you want to do now. And I think that really got to me, and I was like, oh my God, this is so crazy. And so his friends were like, let us just do one last drive. So then it was the craziest thing. At the last drive, there was this nurse who wasn't supposed to be there that day. She was filling in for someone else, and she just happened to be at the right place at the right time. And she was the last person to give blood, which now it's different. It's a cheek swab, but she was the last person, and she wound up being Jay's perfect match. So he just celebrated his 26-year transplant anniversary, which is amazing.
Wow.
That's so wild. So basically what you guys are doing is you're trying to reach out to people so that they can get swabbed, because you said it's a swab now, it's not blood. So for them to get swabbed to see if then they can go onto the registry to possibly be the perfect match for somebody else who's also going through the same thing, searching and searching and searching.
Yeah, so it's super easy. We literally did it right there. It takes like 2 seconds, and it's like so rewarding if like that were to happen. If you were to be a match for someone, but it's like, I mean, you guys can see it, but it's like a little kit. It is like it comes with like 4 little Q-tips. It's like actually really cute. And you just swab, like picture your mouth in 4 quadrants. You swab each part of your cheek. You put it back in, literally like write your name, and seal it back up, and then you send it. The only thing that you do first, so in order to get it, is you'll go to the website, which I'll give you guys, and you just click get swab. So they send it to you and it's that quick. Like, it's crazy that science now, you could tell through a cheek swab. It doesn't have to be blood.
So you don't have to go anywhere. You don't have to do anything. You can just request this through the website and it gets sent to you. You do it yourself at home and send it back out, and then you get put on the registry?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. So I also read that there's a shortage in minorities, though, right? Of them having possible matches.
No, I'm really glad you brought that up because, yeah, that's also, we work with a lot of diversity organizations. And since, you know, Jai was Jewish, the chances of him finding a match were less than 2%. And since Gifts of Life, they're upwards of, I think, like 80%.
Oh, wow.
We want to do that for every minority. So now, like, the chances of a Caucasian finding a match are maybe 98% versus an African American, where their chances might be like 25% and even lower and lower and lower based on different minorities.
Yeah. So since you've started this, how many people have you gotten to sign up? Do they tell you, or is it more just kind of like, oh, well, if you sign up, you sign up?
No, I have a dashboard. I can see all of the things. I can't see, obviously, people, but I've gotten over 150 people in the registry since I've started.
Amazing.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and we've actually had 3 matches. So, yeah, and it doesn't always go through to a full transplant. I haven't had a transplant yet, but we've gotten close.
So 150, that's incredible. We're going to put the link. She sent us a link. We'll put it in the description of the episode. Can we do that?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll put it in there. And then also my other question for you, though, too, because we don't want to keep you too long, but if somebody was interested in becoming like a volunteer like you, how would they go about doing that?
Yeah. So you just go to the website. It's giftsoflife.org. And then actually right now, like, if anyone is interested in doing what I do and being a campus ambassador, you don't have to like go on podcasts or anything. But we are right now like accepting applications for that. So if that's something that anyone's interested in, but literally you just go to the website and you click volunteer. It's like one of the big orange tabs on the top, and they'll tell you exactly what to do.
Oh
man, I do like nothing good for the world. This really makes me feel like a terrible person.
Well, I do nothing else. It's fine.
Nothing else. This is kind of a big deal. 150 people, that's a lot. So we're going to try and get that number up for you, and we'll get people to register. Thanks for joining us, and good luck with the rest of college.
Yeah, thank you.
And the rest of your life.
You too.
Oh, thank you so much, Brittany. You were a pleasure. We appreciate you coming on to talk about this. This is so important, so we really appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Have a great night.
You have a knack for making everything awkward.
Why is it so awkward?
You do it to yourself. Like, there is no
Why?
reason to say, oh, good luck with college and the rest of your life. Like, what, sir?
Well, we're probably never going to talk to her again.
Okay.
I mean, we'll talk to her like after this, but then
It's
not again.
mutually known between all 3 of us and probably everyone that's listening. You don't have to state it out loud.
Yeah.
You're
I'm just an awkward human being. We already knew this.
You're so awkward. Oh,
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's distract everyone from your awkwardness. We want to talk about one of the amazing reviews that we've recently been getting. We've been getting a lot from you guys lately, and it's amazing. We want more. Keep them coming. But we got this one in particular, and specifically, Jake wanted to talk about it. So are you ready to hear?
What are we talking about? Reviews?
Yeah, the review that you wanted to read on the podcast.
Yes, that one.
Are you ready?
I'm so ready.
Okay. It says, I want to start off by saying thank you. Thank you for not making me feel alone through my 20s, which have been a hell of a roller coaster. It's humbling to know we've gone through so many similar things together, although at different times in our lives. It just makes sense, or it just makes me feel I'm fucking this up. There's like so many spaces. It just makes me feel so close to you guys. From career endings to new beginnings, long distances, unemployment, heartbreaks, and heart gains, we're united. That's so sweet. And then it says, Ricki, you encouraged me to be a strong-minded woman who shouldn't ever be afraid to speak her mind. Jake, your build building up my courage to travel alone, meet new people, become addicted to wine, all the good things. I'm proud of you guys, and great things will always follow the two of you, which is so fucking sweet.
That is
Makes me
nice.
very emotional to read these things, especially out
So
loud.
I know we've gotten some really nice ones lately. The reason I wanted you to read that is because they said, "Thank you for not making me feel alone in my 20s."
Yes.
And that just really spoke to me because recently I feel like I guess I felt like I'm alone, but I'm not, right? Like I have great friends and I'm surrounded by people and I see them all the time, but still like something makes me just feel like I'm alone. And it's weird to say that because I'm like have a loving family and I see them all the time. It was interesting that this person views us as like, I'm not alone because I have you to listen to. And that is so cool because there are moments when you feel like you're alone and you feel like you don't have anybody, which is so like, to me, I'm like, that's such a stupid thought because I'm not even remotely alone. Right. But to have something or someone, and the fact that that's us to them is so cool.
I agree. I think it's one of the coolest things ever. Reading all of these things from everybody, all of these reviews of how people feel about listening to us and the way that we make them feel and the way that we make an impact on them is like wild.
Also, it's getting cold out, right?
Yes.
I would like to speak on behalf of all the single people.
Oh God, what, Jake?
This time of year sucks to be single.
Is that why you did your month hiatus from talking
Oh, I
to
didn't.
/ dating anybody?
Why are we talking about that? I didn't want to talk about that.
Did you make it earlier because you knew that by this point you'd be lonely and cold and wanting to be around somebody to snuggle with?
No, I didn't even think about that.
You're
The
a
timing
liar.
would match up like this.
You're a
No, I'm
liar.
not. I didn't think about the timing.
You're lying to me.
No, because now I don't want to feel like I have to go find somebody now.
You're
Because
lying
I'm
to me.
still enjoying the single life, right? I still enjoy being single.
You're a liar right now too. You do not enjoy being single.
Yes, I do, but then I also want to be with someone. I want to have my cake and eat it too.
It was so hard for you to do this month of not talking to anyone.
Why are we talking about this?
Because you said that you felt lonely. And I think that
Uh,
that goes hand in hand with the fact that you
yes,
weren't talking to anybody for the last month.
that does. I'm not talking to anybody right now.
Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
still lonely, I guess. Yeah, but I'd rather not talk to somebody than talk to somebody just because I feel like I want to talk to somebody. Right? Like the only way I want to talk to somebody is if it's some sort of meaningful connection. Well, I mean, like romantically, like obviously you and I talk, but we don't have a
Again,
meaningful
you have to make
connection.
everything so much more awkward than it needs to be.
That's my life, and that's why I'm alone.
I think feeling alone, even when you're not alone, is part of life, and it's a very normal feeling. So even though, like you said, you're surrounded by so many friends and family members and you have work friends and things like that, still feeling alone, knowing that you have all of that is kind of normal. Because like we go through things in life time to time that we don't feel like anybody can relate to. So then we feel like we're all alone and we don't have anybody to go to. It happens all the time. And then now, especially now with the pandemic, even though you do have all of those people, you're not around them all the time.
Right.
Like now is a weird time where you're used to being surrounded by all these people all the time. There's no time to be lonely.
There's no time to be lonely except for all the time now.
Now it's nothing but loneliness because even if you
Right.
have a million friends, you're not seeing them all the time. You're not seeing your family all the time. You're kind of secluded and alone.
So that's why, like, my job, I'm like, who knows if I'm ever going to go back to an office. So I was thinking I should move somewhere where I can have more space, or I can have an outdoor space, because I'm in this, like, you're looking at my office, like, this is every day. And it's very clean right now. It doesn't normally look like this, but this is where I spend minimum 8 hours a day, Monday through Friday. And so I'm like, I want somewhere where I can go and be outdoors and whatever. But the only place that I could move and afford to do that would be somewhere more in the suburbs. So I'm like, do I want to move somewhere else where I don't know anybody else? Because I know people here, but I don't have a ton of friends in the town that I live. My friends are all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, do I want to go somewhere else where I know even less people? I'm like, how's that going to make me feel less alone?
Yeah. I don't think that would help your lonely status
No.
at
I think I'm
all.
just going to deal with being in this apartment all the time because I'm in such a good location geography wise.
Yeah, for when things get back to normal.
Right. Which will be hopefully eventually.
Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed it's sooner rather than later. For all
But in
of
the
us.
meantime, I don't know what I'm going to do. My month is turning into longer than a month.
I love that you were doing this. And I said to you from the start, I think it's very healthy to take a break, do you, and just work on yourself.
Well, you know what I haven't? Okay, I want to come back to that point. You know what I haven't done in this time? I deleted Hinge.
Okay.
Well, I've had Hinge deleted for like 3 months now, but I am not re-downloading it right now.
Was that one of
Because
your worries? Was that while you were going through your month-long hiatus of trying not to talk to anyone romantically, that you would re-download it like a week into it and be like, I give up already. I'm just going to download it.
yeah, there was definitely a point where I was like, I'm just kind of bored. Like I want to just like swipe because it's entertaining. But I
But then you're
haven't
losing
re-downloaded it.
sight of the reason why
Right.
you're even using it. If you're just going on
Right.
because you're bored, isn't the whole reason to have that to find somebody or to like build
Yes.
connections with other people, not just because like, oh, I'm bored, let me swipe.
Right. So that's why I go on TikTok now if I'm bored.
Okay, amazing.
Right. But I'm not going to re-download it is my point. Right
Okay,
now, at
so
least. Mm,
okay. So you started by saying I'm not going to re-download it, but then said for now at least.
yeah.
So what does for now at least mean? Like the next week?
I haven't thought that far ahead.
Oh, Jake. Okay,
I
so
don't
you're
know.
just
I'm just for the time being.
I feel like that's very vague and doesn't really give a lot of information to say for the time being.
Why do I have to set a time limit?
Because if you don't, then you're just going to go right back to it. I think part of the reason you didn't is because you have like this, it's almost like a competition with yourself.
What do you mean?
Like it's a competition with yourself to not re-download it.
Oh.
So like when you say like, oh, for a month, I'm not romantically speaking to anyone, it becomes like a competition with yourself where you're
But
like, I
right
can't do
now,
that.
I don't have the urge to re-download Hinge
Okay.
because every uh romantic whatever that I've had in the last year, maybe more than a year, definitely more than a year, has not been from Hinge. So I'm like, all this time that I'm spending on Hinge and I'm not meeting anyone that's turning into anything. I'm like, what? I'm just meeting people other ways. So why am I wasting all these hours on the app when I could be scrolling through TikTok until my eyeballs fall out?
Yeah, you can waste your time on a different app
Exactly.
that can totally rot your brain in a different way. Like, duh.
I don't know. It's just like on Hinge, you have to have like, so we've talked about this. You have to have so many conversations. And I told you like how many of them lead to getting a number, like a very, very, very small percentage. And then how many of those lead to anything? A very, very small percentage. So it's just like it's like finding a needle in a haystack.
Which is what dating is in general.
Yeah. But if I'm making my haystack smaller, then it's making me feel better.
You're
That
making
was a
your
weird.
haystack smaller.
My pool of
Okay.
humans.
All right. Interesting way to go about it. But all right, let's see what happens.
Let's see what happens.
I almost want to do a tally for each day that you go without Hinge.
Yeah, I mean, my tally's pretty big right now.
But
It should be more how many days I go without talking to somebody romantically.
yeah, but I don't see you lasting that long.
No, I mean the other day, so there's this girl that I like know through college through somebody, and we've been like following each other for a while and we respond to stories and whatever. And so yesterday I was finally like, you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna slide into her DMs. And I did.
Hence why I didn't think any of this would last that long.
Yeah, but I'm not just doing it to do it now is my point.
Oh, my
your
light
fucking
died.
light. Damn it.
Died.
Now you're so dark.
Ah. Well,
Ricki has this light on her the whole time if you can't see us, and it just died.
but you should see us. You should go on YouTube and watch us.
Yeah.
Well, my point is I don't have a lot of faith in you, so let's see what happens. But
Yeah, but you missed that point. My point was that I'm not just doing it to do it now, where before I feel like, especially on Hinge, you're like just talking to people just to talk to people.
I don't
But
really
now, like,
100% believe you, though, only because you just did a month without talking to anybody, and I feel like you're anxious to start romantically talking to people.
okay, I see your point. But I don't agree. I mean, yes, but that makes it sound like I'm just reaching out to somebody just because I miss talking to somebody.
Okay,
Which is not the case,
not
right?
the
Like,
case. Okay.
no, because like I would reach out to this person whether it was now or a month or two from now.
Okay.
But that's why I'm like, if I were to re-download Hinge, then I'm like talking to people just to talk to people, I feel like.
I agree. I do think if you have Hinge that you're just talking to people just because you're bored.
All right, so I'm staying off of Hinge for now is the moral of the story.
Amazing. Are you staying off of all dating sites?
Oh yeah, I didn't use any of the other ones because
Okay.
Bumble just kills my ego, and Tinder I just haven't been on in forever.
Oh, Jake.
Yeah.
Kills my ego.
If I want to kill my ego, I'll just text you.
Solid point. I'll always be there for you, bud.
Always be there.
Whenever you need me to knock you down a peg, I'm there.
Oh, exactly. I'm gonna be like, Ricki, I want to do this. You'd be like, nope, shitty idea. Next. Okay, moving on. Good times. Good times.
All right. Well, since my light died, that's typically the sign that we got to get going. We do have to do Hot Mess Express, though.
I can't see your fucking face.
I know. I'm sorry, dude, but like, there's not much I could do about that.
Why don't you play in? My light's plugged in. Now you're taking off your clothes. People can't even see you.
I just got hot. Don't judge me. Okay, so Hot Mess Express. Let me find it really
Can you turn your
fast.
screen brightness up at least?
Does that make a difference?
Yeah, it'll reflect on your face. You're so dark right now. No.
That's not. There we go. Am I brighter now?
Helped a little bit.
Well, sir, take what you can get, okay? My
Okay,
light
fine.
died.
Who's riding the train this week?
Okay, I have the story. I just got to find it because I lost it again. I don't know what my deal is, but every time I feel like, oh, I got it, everything's fine, we end up talking about something else and then I lose it.
Yeah, I mean, I've lost it a lot. So, it is what it is.
Okay, we'll call on another note. We'll call this person. This person will be
I just made weird noises.
Sarah.
Sarah, I love it.
Okay.
What's Sarah got for us today?
Sarah said, my Hot Mess Express story. I was in Rome on a 2-week-long Europe trip with a large tour group of all 20-somethings. It was my first trip to Europe, and Rome was our first stop. A bunch of us went out on the second night, mixing alcohols and taking tequila shots. I didn't have water in my room or any means of acquiring food before bed. So I woke up the next day very hungover, doing that sway pep talk in the shower to get my shit together. I went down to breakfast with sunglasses on, trying to prepare for our trip to the Vatican, aka the holiest place on earth. The whole group walked to the Vatican, and I was feeling good. Before we got to the Sistine Chapel, our tour guide gave us a sheet of paper with a picture of it to go over the different scenes since there's no talking allowed inside the chapel. That's when I made the biggest mistake of my life. I sat down and I closed my eyes.
Oh.
As soon as I did, I got dizzy. When she was finished speaking, I stood up and immediately knew I was going to throw up. I closed my mouth and tried to stop it, but there was no hope. I threw up right in front of a security guard. Luckily, and you can take this out if you want for grossness. I caught most of it in my hand and had to swallow some of it back down.
Oh, why? You should have taken that part out.
Hell no, we're going all full out hot mess express. Then I had to walk what felt like an eternity to get to the bathroom so I could clean up. The whole time thinking it would happen again. When I finally cleaned up and went into the Sistine Chapel, my head hurt so bad I couldn't look up for more than a couple seconds at a time. This is what I call instant karma. I knew that was a lot, so you can cut it down if you need to, but I was like, nope, gotta give the whole full story.
That was the longest Hot Mess Express story we've heard, and by far the cringiest.
Oh.
So congratulations, Sarah. You are officially the conductor of the Hot Mess Express.
I relate so hard to this Hot Mess Express, though, because
I do not.
Oh my God. There's never been a situation where you drank too much the night before and then the next day you had to do something super serious and then you just like fucked it up.
Yeah, but I've never thrown up in my hands and then had to swallow some of it because I was in the most holy place in the world.
You've never, okay, minus the holiest place in the world part, but you've never thrown up in your mouth and just swallowed it again to save face?
Why are you doing this? I'm going to throw up just thinking about it. No, I've never swallowed it again. I've always either made it to the toilet or on the ground.
Okay, sir.
Is that a thing that people use? Like, have you ever had like a baby puke? I've done that.
What's a baby
where you like
puke?
throw up in your mouth a little bit and then you just swallow it?
Yeah, that's basically what she's saying, only hers is a full throw up.
Yeah. I've never had full barf and then you swallow it again. That's pretty raunchy.
Oh, I have.
Oh.
Like taste the chunks in my mouth.
Why are you doing this? I'm gonna throw up all over the place.
Down situation so that I could save face so that nobody knew that I had to throw up.
I hope we just made someone throw up in their hands right now.
Well, okay, now my
That's
computer
nasty.
is also getting really bad service, and I think the computer and internet is even over this Hot Mess Express story.
Yeah, you just froze for a hot sec. Hot sec express.
Yep, this is just the internet's like, please stop talking about throwing up in your mouth.
Yeah, thank you for that, internet.
Well, congrats, Sarah. And if you ever want to send your
what?
hot mess, it's for being the conductor.
Well, that's a title that I want, but yeah, congratulations.
It's title everybody wants. We all must wear the conductor hat at some point in our lives.
Yeah, you wore it last week. I wore it at some point, and Sarah gets it this week.
I'm honestly just like always the conductor of the Hot Mess Express. The people that we pick are really just like my assistant conductors because I'm just a disaster.
Your co-conductor?
Yeah.
I love it.
All right, Jake, hit your spiel.
Listen to us and then share your friends so that we can do this more. And don't forget, you can text us. We've been getting some interesting texts lately, and sometimes I respond to them, but sometimes I don't. You can text us at 201-588-5139 and follow us everywhere at 20SDN Podcast. I almost forgot what we were.
Wow, that's great. Good job, though, Jake.
Thanks.
Okay.
Join us next week for another edition of 20-somethings Doing Nothing, where we will talk about nothing. What?
I didn't like that at all. That was weird.
I don't like that's not true.
Were you gonna say you don't like me?
I already said that once today. I can't use that joke more than once.
I hate you so much.
I know, and I love it.
All right. Catch you next week.
Bye.